So today we got a slightly different meal for you guys. It's inspired by a buddy of mine. He's doing a sort of keto diet, mostly just protein and fats with almost no carbs. So we decided, since he's coming over tonight to hang out, we're gonna make a dinner that he's gonna enjoy. So we decided to go with some Cajun pork bites, Cajun or blackened pork bites, and some roasted cauliflower. This is something that's right up his alley. Now, I did make a homemade ranch dressing for us. He probably won't have any of that since there is carbs in both the buttermilk and the red onion that I put in here. Quite a bit of carbs for him anyway, so he probably won't eat that, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy our food too, right? So let's get into this. I'm very excited for it. Here we go. The ingredients that we're gonna need for today's dinner are pretty simple. We have the ingredients for our ranch dressing that we're gonna make right here. We have 1.5 teaspoons of oregano, tablespoon of dill, 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. I have lemon juice. I'm gonna use maybe between 1 and 3 teaspoons of lemon juice, but I'm gonna do that at the end as I go. I've got 1/2 cup of sour cream, 1/2 cup of mayo. I've got 3 cloves of garlic that I've minced or pasted, turned into paste. I do have 1/2 a red onion that I've chopped up pretty finely. I don't think I'm going to use all of it, but I mean, I just was cutting up an onion. So, and I have 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Again, as well with the buttermilk, I'm going to do this at the end. I might only use 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup, but we'll see with the consistency. So that's what we're gonna look for with the buttermilk. The other ingredient, we're gonna do some cauliflower, and we're gonna do pork tenderloin that we're gonna cut up and do Cajun pork bites out of. This is super good. My kid loves it. The guy who's coming over for dinner, he's a keto guy, so he's gonna eat most of this and absolutely none of this, but that's why we have this for us. And I got some potatoes going in the back that's gonna be for us. He won't touch that either. But if you are a keto or a meat guy with just meats and fats, or woman, then this is great for you. This is just basically going to be a really flavorful pork bite and some cauliflower, which is perfect for the keto diet. The first thing we're going to start off with is the ranch, because we're going to want to put this all together and get it in the fridge so it can sit in there for a little while, up to a couple hours if you have the time to let all those ingredients marinate together and mingle and have fun and party, and it's going to be more delicious that way. So we're going to start with that. For the ranch dressing, I mean, it's all really simple. Obviously, you could buy this from the store and it's probably going to be good, obviously, but it's really easy to make at home, and you can tailor it to more of your taste if you like that way. Or you can even tailor it to the food that you're going to make that you're going to use it for that day. So 1/2 cup of mayo, 1/2 cup of sour cream. I have seen some recipes out there that call for like 1 cup of mayo and 1/2 cup of sour cream, but for me, I think that's a little too much mayo. I'm not the hugest fan of mayo. It does have its place and it's pretty good on certain things, but for this, I think 1/2 cup is going to be more than enough for me. All right, so our 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley, about 1.5 tablespoons or teaspoons of chopped oregano, 1 tablespoon of dill. We got our 3 garlic cloves. Now guys, when you're making your ranch dip, you don't have to use fresh herbs. You can use dried. If you're going to use dried, use half the amount. The flavor is a lot more pronounced when it's dried, so make sure you use half the amount of that if you're going to use dried. I'm going to put in, that was probably about 3 tablespoons of red onion, maybe 2.5, something like that. I'm just going to put a little lemon juice for now, about that much, about half of my buttermilk, and I'm going to mix this together and we'll go from there. Already it's looking amazing. Obviously we're going to need some salt. That's about 1/2 teaspoon maybe. And some fresh cracked pepper. You know me, I like pepper. Mix that up. For me, this is a good consistency right here. So I don't think I'm gonna use any more of the buttermilk or the lemon juice. Maybe, I'm gonna taste that, but I think that's gonna be it for the buttermilk. Okay, so we're just gonna give this a try for the lemon juice to make sure we have enough of the lemon juice. That's pretty good. I can taste just a hint of lemon juice. Personally, I like lemon, so I'm gonna go in with another teaspoon, and that'll probably be enough. Guys, this really is better than store-bought. It takes absolutely no time at all to make it. The ingredients are very easy. There's nothing special about it. I highly recommend you make this at home. Okay, so we're just gonna get a lid on there and we're gonna pop that in the fridge. All these flavors are gonna, like I said, they're gonna mingle, they're gonna party, they're gonna have a good time in here. And by the time we're ready to use it, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Okay, so after you get your ranch put together and you got it in the fridge waiting there for you, you're gonna want to get your meat prepared, and you're gonna want to do this ahead of time as well. So we're gonna chop this up into bite-sized pieces, and then we're gonna drizzle some olive oil over it, and we're gonna cover it in Cajun spice and then we're just gonna let it marinate for a while, sit and get those flavors inside, and salt, of course. I like to, when I'm preparing my tenderloin, is to get rid of this silver skin here. It's not gonna be edible. So if you just go under with your knife on the side here, like this, and bring your knife forward, and then cut it with the knife, just running it along on the skin, it's gonna take that all off and leave behind almost all of the meat. It's pretty good. It's a great way to get rid of that silver skin without losing any meat. Now that we've cleaned that up, it's really simple. I'm just gonna flatten it out. I'm gonna slice it along this way into 3 pieces, like so. Now if this is a big one, like this one on the end, you can even just do a little slice on the end, just so you are gonna have bite-sized pieces when you're finished. This is pretty thick here too. And then just cut it along, just like this. It's really easy, really quick, really simple. Now guys, of course, you can also do this with steak if you want. It works really well with steak. You can do this with chicken, but I do find that when you're blackening it with chicken, because you have to make sure it's cooked all the way inside, it's gonna really blacken on the outside a lot more than your pork or your steak. The steak you can do to like a medium rare, so you can have that heat really high and blacken it really fast to keep that medium rare. With the pork, I'll have the heat a little bit lower because you still want your medium or medium well, however you like your pork, and blacken the outside. But with chicken, it's gonna be a little more difficult and you're probably gonna end up burning things a lot more. Just be aware of that. So pick your protein appropriately. I'm gonna just drivel. I'm gonna I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil over the pork, and we're gonna salt it. Guys, don't be afraid to use seasoning. When you do this, you want those big punchy flavors there. So don't be afraid to season your food. And we're gonna put a lot of Cajun spice. It seems like it's a lot, but trust me, you want a lot. Then just mix that all up in there. Make sure you coat all of it. Now, if you guys really like spice, you could even add some chili flake on top of this just to give it even more punch. Okay, and then like I said, you're gonna want this rest and marinate for a while. Now, thankfully, I have this big pan that's already been marinating for a couple hours, and you can see it's looking absolutely fantastic right now. Okay, the next thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna get our cauliflower ready for the oven. You'd be surprised at how long this is gonna take to bake in the oven. So we'll just clean up these leaves off here. All right, so I'm just gonna cut this guy in half here so I can see that part right there. We're gonna wanna cut that out till we're left with just the cauliflower. All right, then we're just gonna cut these down into bite-sized pieces. If you want, you can just cut the root and you can break them apart if you don't want to cut through the flour. And there's no reason to buy pre-cut bags of cauliflower or vegetables like that. This is really simple. Just take the extra 10 minutes. Trust me, it's gonna be better for you. You don't know what they're adding into that bag of cut cauliflower to make it not turn brown or last longer. Okay guys, there we got our cauliflower. Nice and simple and easy. We're just gonna get that in a pan. Cookie sheet, baking dish, whatever you want to use. Doesn't matter. Gonna drizzle some olive oil on this. I suggest doing the olive oil first. That way your salt and your pepper will stick to the cauliflower. We're gonna salt it. Again, be generous. Cauliflower has absolutely no flavor to it. Pepper. And another thing you can do that's extremely good with cauliflower, and if I had thought ahead, I probably would have done this, is take some cumin seed, toast it in a frying pan, and put that on your cauliflower as well. But we're just gonna get this in the oven. 375, probably take at least a good 40 minutes, I'm guessing, before we start seeing some good color on there. So in the meantime, we do have a cast iron, dry cast iron pan heating up. It's very, very hot right now. Okay, cauliflower's been in for a little while. We're just gonna give it a stir. Make sure that we get her roasted on all sides. It's already starting to get some good color on there. Maybe another 20 minutes or so, and we should be good to go with the cauliflower. So I think we should start cooking our pork. This doesn't take any time at all. It's super quick. And we definitely don't want to overcrowd the pan and create a lot of moisture. So we're gonna do this in little batches. So we'll take our pork. As you can see, it's a very dry, hot pan. It's definitely gonna get smoky in the house when you do this, so have as much ventilation as possible. I've got some doors open. I've got the stove vent. I've got all the bathroom vents on. We're just gonna take some of this and we're gonna toss it in the pan. You can see right away it's cooking, it's hot. Now I'm definitely gonna want to get good color on all of this, so I'm gonna individually turn these as I'm cooking it, and you can see right away it's already starting to blacken. It didn't take very long at all. These are so good. If you find that your pan is too hot, you can turn it down just a little bit. You can add a little bit of oil in there if you want. It will cool the pan down a little bit. If you absolutely need to, you could also use a little bit of water. It should evaporate right away and just cool the pan down. So I do want a little bit more color on this, and I feel like it is going to burn a little bit, so I'm just going to throw a little bit of oil in there. Just going to give it a quick mix. That is going to create a lot of smoke, so just be aware when you're doing this, it is going to get smoky in your house. Maybe call the fire department, tell them, you know, give them warning. There's going to be some test alarms going off. When you think you might be ready, you want to check. You don't want this to be raw still in the middle, because that's not going to taste good. Like that, still raw. So we're gonna leave this on a little longer. So we'll just check them again, make sure that we got a little pink in there. That's absolutely perfect right now. So we're gonna take these off the heat. Makes sense to have a bowl ready, unlike me, but that is absolutely perfect. Nice and pink inside, blackened on the outside. That's exactly what you're looking for. In between my batches, I'm just gonna try and scrape some of that stuff off, and we're ready to move on to the next batch. So I'm gonna finish cooking the rest of these pork bites, and I'll see you in a minute for plating and tasting. I can't wait. We'll see you then.
A little while later.
Okay, so we got our pork bites are done. Our pork bites are done, and the cauliflower is looking really good. It's ready to come out of the oven. Just perfect right now. So we're just gonna plate this up. This is obviously a very simple plating this time. Just got some cauliflower and a nice healthy pile of Cajun pork bites. Like I said, guys, very simple plate, but here we are. Cajun pork bites, our roasted cauliflower, beautiful homemade ranch dressing. Again, this is just amazing. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Hey there. Nope, not gonna do that.
Hey there.
I did
hey
not,
everybody.
I did not like that. Hello there. Here I have the blackened pork bites with the cauliflower that my father just made, the roasted cauliflower, and the homemade ranch sauce. And I'm gonna try it now. I've had these blackened pork bites before. He's made them before. And honestly, they're an amazing snack that's not like sugary in any way. I'm gonna bite into one and see what it's like. The pork bites, they're super good. I don't know, they have like a little bit of like, you know, the blackened taste to them that usually you don't try to go for in food, but in this case, since it's like a blackening spice Cajun, it just like, it works super well. And with kind of marinated pork, it's nice and flavorful. The ranch sauce, usually I'm not a huge fan of ranch sauce with like store-bought ranch sauces. They're not really my thing, but homemade ranch, it tastes so much better than store-bought ranch. I absolutely 100% recommend, if you don't like ranch normally, at least try homemade ranch, because you might enjoy it. I'm not a huge fan of cauliflower personally. It's not my favorite vegetable. But yeah, if you're looking for like a low-carb vegetable that tastes okay, then cauliflower is pretty good. Pork bites though. These things are so good. I could just eat these things all day just as like a little snack. Instead of like chips, just eat these things. They're probably better for you anyway than just eating chips. Overall, I'd say probably for the pork bites, they're like a 9 out of 10. For the ranch and the cauliflower, like a 7 out of 10. Not my favorite.